You're listening to a segment previously aired on Ask Lady Joan.
All right, so
Okay.
before we go to break, should we ask a question here?
Sure, that's what we're all about. Let's ask Lady Joan a question.
All right, Lady Joan, have you ever done any kind of drugs?
Yes.
Okay, so you won't be running for president anytime soon. Okay.
I promise, I did nail.
What drugs have you done? Weed? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done any chemicals. Or when somebody said that acid will fry your brain, I thought, I have enough problems with my brain. I don't need any help with that. So, yeah, leave my brain alone.
Yeah, my whole thing is
weed
that...
was it, and I didn't really get high on it. And it wasn't until later in life that I actually could toke and get high on it.
Yeah.
And then I just get hungry, and it's like, I don't like that feeling. It's like being drunk and having a hangover. I don't like that feeling either.
Yeah.
Or the bed going round and round and round. So that
Yeah,
spins and then you got to puke. It's like, ugh.
I'm the same way. I've never really gotten high.
Yeah.
I don't really drink to excess. I have gotten drunk.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it.
No.
It's
I
not
like
enjoyable to me.
I like having a couple of drinks with my dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I do drink, I can drink really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go from almost like very like teetotaler to let's drink the real hard stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Right? Like corn whiskey.
This is going to sound ridiculous, but when I was
And I don't
younger...
yeah. You can drink better?
Before I was like 24, I
Yeah.
would say. No, I guess even in college. So when I was like 25, 26,
Yeah.
I could drink quite a bit. I mean, my Friday nights consisted of like 2 bottles of wine, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
I've never been big on
Yeah.
some of the other, like I'm not huge on beer. I'll have a beer,
Yeah.
and
never liked
relax. But see, I like beer. Beer no longer agrees with me.
No, I like beer on a very hot day, and it's got to be very cold beer.
Yes, yeah, it's got to be.
And
nice
sometimes
cold.
it's got to be like a shanty, so a mixture of ginger
Okay.
ale and beer.
Oh,
And then
I've never had that.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. But it's got to be really hot. The beer taste just never caught on with me.
I don't mind it, but it's one of those things that like in limited quantities I'll enjoy it, but anyways, not so much anymore. And
Yeah.
it's really weird. I definitely don't like the idea that I'm not 100% in control of myself.
Yes.
And I think part of that is because I've got that dominant personality. Is it the same for you?
Yeah, because I become very sentimental and very mushy, and I cry and and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I don't
really
do that.
I don't really want people to know that side of me.
I don't get overly sentimental or anything. It's not like that. It's just that I don't like I like being able to have extremely quick reflexes and be able to observe everything that's going on around me. I want to operate at like top capacity all the time.
Yep.
And so when I'm not, I feel as though I'm like letting myself and letting other people down.
Yeah. So what's the question?
All right. So the question
Did I ever do drugs?
before we go to break is I'm wondering what your thoughts are on combining alcohol or drugs with sex and kink play. My girlfriend has expressed an interest in doing some pretty risky stuff as part of a rape play scene. She wants to be unexpectedly roofied while at a bar and then taken home and used in any way I want. I'm actually a bit unsure about how I feel about this. In the past, the only drug we've done together was pot while we were having sex. I also want to try ecstasy, as I think that's supposed to be ecstasy, as part of our sex life, but I haven't tried it ever before, and doing it with her is uncharted territory.
Interesting question. We'll be right back with an answer. Stay tuned. I booted myself out of their room.
Out of the chat room?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So there's
All right.
2 of me in there now.
I've got to get in there. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, no. My other me quit.
Oh, the other you quit?
Yep.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, this is the Ask Lady Joan show. You can join us in the live chat at askladyjoan.com.
Go to www.askladyjoan.com and hit on live chat. Pick a name that you want to be seen as and addressed as, and come on in and join us. So, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, I guess I should probably refresh the question here.
Okay.
And we'll take things question by question here. Dear Lady Joan, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on combining alcohol or drugs with sex and kink play. Let's address that first of all.
You know what? I don't agree with it because I think that you have to be clear-headed, especially with some of the things that we do. And I think both the dom and the sub have to be clear-headed, because the sub could go into subspace, and that's almost like taking drugs. Because you have to be clear on if you're okay, if you can answer questions, if you know, and if you're high, how are you going to be able to do that? And the dom's always supposed to be in control, and if you get a little drunk, you might play a little harder, and you might not stop when you really should, or if the submissive says stop or the safe word, and they might not, right? They'll continue to go, yeah, oh, never mind, bitch, I'm in charge, right? So I just don't think it's safe. I think play and drugs and alcohol don't mix. So that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I know a lot of other people don't, but they think it loosens them up. It makes them be able to do things maybe that they wouldn't do, but I think there should be other ways of getting there without using, chemicals.
I think, see, my personal opinion is that when it comes to kink play, anything that's high risk, I personally don't feel that I should be inebriated in any way.
Yes.
I am able to rationalize my submissive being drunk or on something, as long as I'm there to babysit, to make sure everything's fine.
Alcohol thins the blood, and if blood, you're going to bruise a lot easier, and a lot more damage can be done.
But not only that, I mean, it just lowers the ability of somebody to even feel the pain that they're experiencing. And so let's say you're beating an ass, you could be causing serious
damage
problems, and they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And it also will lower their ability to say, no, stop, if that's required.
Exactly. That's my point. That it's not wise.
Now, as for drugs, I've not combined. I've done the drinking and sex. Probably the worst sex I've ever had.
Well, yeah, because men usually have a hard time getting it up.
There was no issue with that.
They're going, I'm going to get it up. Oh, you can't have an orgasm.
I would say
fucking go. Yeah, I'm gonna come, and it's like, yeah, fucking no, you're not.
That's the problem. Sometimes it's not that I have difficulty with it. It's just that I last a long time.
Yeah,
and so
that's usually not a problem.
Usually,
women usually like that.
It's true, except for those times when the girl's like, "Okay, we've got like 15 minutes. Let's do this," and I'm like, yeah, 15 minutes isn't gonna cut it.
I've never heard a woman ever say, "We've only got this much time."
Well,
okay. If
you've never been like, oh shit, we've got time for a quickie.
No.
There's no such thing as a quickie in my world. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, it's not okay because it means that we get to have sex less, because if we commit to it...
No, because as far as I'm concerned, I would still use you, and just because you didn't have your orgasm, as long as I got mine, it's all good.
That's not the type of relationship I'm in.
So that could still be a quickie, right? I think it all works out.
It all works out.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to get off of my vibrator, just won't do it. So pot, I've only smoked pot. That's the only drug I've ever tried, and pot usually makes me feel very, very horny. So that's the only experience I've had with pot. So I don't know if the sex was any better. I have a high sex drive anyway, so I don't know. All I know is, but then I have moments throughout the day, unlike or very similar to men, where I'll be doing nothing, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm fucking horny. Yeah, where's my vibrator now? Right? Yeah. So I don't need drugs to do that. Anyway, that's my experience with pot. It felt like I was hornier, if that's possible. I'm a horn dog. I
don't know. I've got no experience with pot and sex. Pot's one of those things I've never really gotten high from. I'm somewhat curious about doing it. Yeah. But I just don't get it.
If I had a choice, if I was going to have sex, if I was going to be drinking, or if I was going to do pot, I'd rather do pot and have sex than drink and have sex. Mm-hmm. I think it also probably it's not safe to have pot either, because it inhibits you.
Inhibits, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're not really stopping to think what's safe.
Okay.
Because you're thinking, oh, I can do that. I'll try that. Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you don't stop to think, well, maybe we should first test it. You just think, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, and then if you're laughing, you know, your sub could be crying, you'd be laughing.
Yeah.
You know, or saying, you know what, I'm really hungry, so look after yourself, bitch.
Yeah.
No aftercare for you. I'm off to eat because my stomach says so.
All right. So the next part of the question is, my girlfriend has expressed an interest in doing some pretty risky stuff as part of a rape play scene. She wants to be unexpectedly roofied while at a bar and then taken home and used in any way I want.
Okay, so can roofie kill you?
I want to say no, but yes. Like, I mean,
See, because what I understand of roofie, what it does, it stops you from being able to fight back, and that's it. It just sort of stops you from being capable of fighting back.
right.
I'm not sure if it puts you into a dream state that you don't really know what's going on. I've heard that too,
Okay.
where they've sort of woke up and said, I think I've had sex, but I'm not sure because I don't remember. I think I was raped, but yeah. So I'm not sure, you know. Now, as long as, you know, her dom was totally in control and it puts her, maybe that's the numbness she wants to be able to get through this. But what if she can't remember it? Then what good was it?
I think that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but as long as I can remember,
Right.
I have had fantasies of, and this is before I knew I was kinky and before, probably even before I had had sex the first time.
Right.
I had fantasies of drugging my girlfriend.
Right.
With, I didn't even know what at the time.
Yeah.
But finding a way to basically incapacitate her, videotape us doing crazy things, or her doing things with other people or whatever, and then forcing her to watch that video the next day.
Okay.
That to me is hot.
Yeah. See, I would say you'd have to be more educated on the drug that you're using, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that sort of, you know, making the girl feel that she could do more. It would, obviously, because she'd have no choice. But you'd really have to make sure your dom was in charge and somebody else didn't take over.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could really get fucked.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, I don't mean in a good way.
Unfortunately, just as I was making my way into the kink community, just before I started dating my ex-wife, there was a woman that I had met who was really awesome. She was quite a bit older. I think I mentioned her before. She's the best sex I had at the time. Well, not necessarily the best sex, but it was good high energy sex. Like, yeah, it was good. She wasn't afraid to do the things that, like, a lot of the women I had been fucking up to that point were, because they were younger. Anyways, she, her and her ex, involved in some relatively high risk stuff in terms of hooking up with random strangers and stuff like that. And one of the times that they met up, she got roofied.
Okay.
By her husband.
Okay.
So it's kind of an interesting story, and I guess we need to take a break. But when we come back, I'll explain a little bit about that and the effect it had on their relationship.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
To hear more Ask Lady Joan, tune in every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, only at AskLadyJoan.com.